What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dragonryders Media. I am your host, Vincent, aka Dragon Rider Baby. Let's go, man. It's another Behind the Bullshit podcast, man. Man, it's number 34. Look, I am so stoked about this. I continue to acquire amazing guests, man. I'm telling you what, man. I'm blessed right now. It's everything's going so great. It's amazing, and it just keeps getting better and better and better, man. And so look, hey, so if you didn't see the announcement, man, look, this guy, he came on the show a while back, man. We was just discussing this. I totally forgot all about it, like the whole situation around it. I brought him on for a roundtable, and we was discussing the whole FTX like fallout, blowout, that scammer shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I said, you know what? Let me reach out to him, man. It's been a while. Let's do some catching up. Let's get behind some bullshit, man. There's been a lot of bullshit since he's been on. I'm telling you what. But let's welcome to the stage, Big Crypto. What's up, man?
Good to see you, Vincent. Thanks for having me on here. Been seeing, excuse me.
Oh, it's fine, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, like I said, man, we was just discussing, man. It's been a long while. It's been about a couple years, almost.
I think Bitcoin was literally at 16,000 last time we were talking here. So yeah, it was. That was literally the market bottom. So hopefully this will mark another sort of local bottom. We'll go up from here.
Hey, absolutely, man. I'm excited about it. The only thing I'm not excited about right now, which we seen after some news dropped. Yeah, there's a few things that kind of exploded yesterday. The U.S. Basically the Treasury now has the 63,800 and some odd Bitcoin that was seized from Silk Road, and now the U.S. Treasury has it. So with that, people are anticipating a big dump off because they can't keep it. So basically, they got to auction it off. I think the U.S. Marshals kind of auction it off or whatever, and I guess it goes to the highest bidder. And I'm like, you know what? They're not going to sell it for top dollar right now. What they're going to do is they're probably going to create a lot of fear. So it was put out in a lot of different places, and of course, it did cause a little bit of fear. And we saw quite a little bit of the result of that yesterday. We had a nice today. We had a nice big dip today.
Sort of out of nowhere. Yeah, it kind of surprised me. It was sort of out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are estimating that are in anticipation of the big sell-off of these of this. Dude, I think it's somewhere around like $4 billion worth of Bitcoin that they have, and
I think Germany had like 2.5 to 3 billion, so a similar amount over the summer.
Yeah.
So they spread their selling out over like 3 weeks. But the good news is once they were done, that was a catalyst. The prices started pumping. So
yeah.
Well,
I mean, it is what it kind of at this point it is what it is. But the thing is, kind of how I've mentioned that the digital currency is literally the future, and whether you get it now or later, eventually everybody will eventually have some sort of cryptocurrency. And those of us that are in it right now, man, we're actually, we are going to benefit from it later. Only thing we can do is continue to try to educate people, because of course, as some of the announcements that we had yesterday, a lot of scammers have been exposed and sitting in prison, sitting in jail, even overseas, man. Hey, they got them dudes. Some of the two of the Saitama cats, man. They got them. They're sitting in jail overseas right now, waiting for extradition.
Yeah, it was. There's been more. I've never seen more celebrating when something went down than with these Saitama guys. Like when FTX went down, people lost money. No one was happy about it. Saitama, everyone had already lost their money, so now it's just like fitting justice. But yeah, so you were around for the Saitama days, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was. It was a great time though, man. Like everything was pumping, dude. Saitama literally could have been in a sense in Shiba's place. Like it could have did that. Like, because she didn't have nothing going for it. Saitama didn't have nothing really going for it. You know what I mean? And it went crazy out of nowhere, and it literally could have been sitting up there like top 20. You know what I mean? But people want to be greedy and just be scammers, man. It's like the amount of money you can make in the long term versus this short, like, just stealing of people's funds, man. I mean, it's just, dude, what do you think about that, man?
The long-term ethical strategy is just more profitable for everyone, and it's just better. But yeah, I mean, Safe Moon and Saitama, they both peaked at about exactly the same 5 to 6 billion
Yeah,
market cap. So they were on their way to being the next Sheeb, the next Doge, and that now they're close to
yeah,
zero. So they just do things the right way, and you could be the next Sheeb. That's all there is to it.
yeah.
Then
It's
then so were you like surprised when
yeah.
they arrested some of these guys, like where they were from or their age, their demographic? Because most of them weren't really doxxed, right?
No, well, some of them was, but
Mhm.
I guess they were thinking that, being in a different, a country that is gonna be whatever you know what I mean? But, earlier this year when a lot of regulations actually did come into place, because we keep talking about regulation, 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 and, some of those did come down and are in place, but they didn't have a way to really enforce it, and because as we see with the SEC, keep fumbling the football. They don't necessarily know how to enforce any type of regulations or even laws that they implement, because they themselves don't necessarily understand the industry. But as they continue to get clarity, you know these enforcements is going to start, and with especially with the FBI, man. FBI, for them to go across country or across our borders to get some folks arrested and to extradite them back here to be prosecuted. They've had a hand in this for they've been looking at this for a while. I mean, it was only just a matter of time before, and I've said this, it's only a matter of time before these scammers get hammered. Not only the scammers, but a lot of these peddlers, whether we want to call them influencers or content creators, whatever the case may be, the ones that are involved in some of this shit, they're going to get the hammer too, and they just don't realize that. They think, oh, DeFi, we're in DeFi. No, we're not.
It's
DeFi is not DeFi.
Yeah, and this
So
investigation into Gotbit and Saitama, it started 2 years ago in mid
yeah,
2022, a long time ago. So
yeah,
they were just kind of patiently waiting, just waiting for the right time. But yeah, and the Gotbit CEO, he was from Spain too, not US either. So no
yeah.
one, no one's safe. Just got to do things the right way. But yeah, it was definitely. I was just surprised by how long the investigation was and how
Yeah.
patient they were.
I and it's kind of one of those conspiracy theory type things where they're because the registration for our next election has ended, and a lot of people are saying, even myself, I'm teetering on the fence as far as, like, because there's so many back-to-back announcements, because you got one party that's pro crypto, you got another party that's not, and now all of a sudden registrations have ended, and now it's like this full on, oh hey, by the way, guess what, we got all these scammers that in cryptocurrency that we're arresting, and what I'm saying, it's all across the news right now, and it's like, why did it take so long? What I mean? And why exactly right now? You know what I'm saying?
It's Yeah, it usually comes off as random. With Safe Moon, it was one of the guys who was living in Europe like 95% of the time. So literally a couple days after he came back to, I think, Utah, the
Yeah,
CEO, to get some stuff, he was going to go back. So they were just kind of waiting for him. You just need to be on US soil to keep it kosher like that. But yeah,
yeah,
no, it's definitely interesting. And then we got the election in a couple weeks. I don't. So let's talk about that here. So this is the first election where we've had a betting system, Polymart, where you can bet on who is going to win the election. So there's like the
yeah,
regular polls, the phone polls, and then there's like the betting odds. So I'm because
yeah,
obviously the betting odds were a little bit more towards Kamala. Like a month ago, now they're swinging
yeah.
towards Trump, but the regular polls still show Kamala. So I don't know. I'm very curious. Yeah, what do you think of it? Which poll do you think
I,
is accurate?
I honestly I don't think any poll is accurate. I think
Yeah.
depending on the platform and depending on who supports it and depending on who owns it, those platforms can be pretty biased. So I tend to stay away from polls, because even in even here in Louisville, like there's polls going around, and it's like, they say one side's a couple points ahead, but versus you know y- the people that I talk to, and it's like I don't know. And I talk to a lot of people now, you know what I'm saying? And even because I'm in the elevator trade. So I'll be sitting on top of an elevator fixing it, or in the pit, working on some stuff, and I can listen and hear these conversations going over in a lot of office buildings and stuff like that. And it's like, what the polls are saying versus the conversations that are being had in many different areas. It's like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I think we'll just see. I think in elections, polling is literally no different than some crypto marketing, because people are going to try to manipulate things to swing people's choices,
It's
in
yeah,
my
and for the
opinion.
viewers that don't know, so Polymarket, that is the betting platform. It's a UK-based platform. It's about a year or two old, so it wasn't around the last election. You can bet
Yeah.
in either fiat or crypto. I get the feeling it's more crypto people using it. I think they've had about $100 million bet so far in the betting election. So yeah, obviously crypto people are going to be favoring the Republican side a little bit more. But
Yeah.
it really it all depends. But that the betters have definitely switched from Kamala Trump, but we won't know until election day happens.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's no matter, and I mean, that's a long conversation. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but there's a lot of signs to show that, no matter how much support, any candidate has, um, I mean, in my opinion, and it don't matter what side of the field you're on, a lot of people are bought and paid for. You know what I mean? So it's like, no matter no unless you have absolute control over things, uh, all the promises, it's it's all up to a group of people that may or may not show up to vote in Congress, and it's all up to them whether something really passes or not. You know what I mean? Because even the president doesn't have absolute control. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's one of those. I guess we'll see what happens when it happens. We've seen a lot of promises and stuff over the years. Some things have come through, some things hasn't, and some things actually start to pass. Just because of the timing. We as a society have evolved, and a lot of other things and laws and ideals are evolving as well. So I mean,
Great.
I guess it's all about what's popular.
We shall see. It's probably going to come down to Pennsylvania. I think that's what everyone,
Yeah.
it's huge swing state, tons of delegates. So that's probably the winner of that will probably take it. But we
Yeah.
shall see.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the markets for a little here. So what you got any like with this cycle? How high do you think Bitcoin is going to go? 'Cause previously, a year ago, people were saying, "Oh, the cycle it's going to go to 250,000." Now,
Yeah.
lately, more of the tweets I'm saying, "Oh, when we're at 100,000." So obviously, opinions have changed. What's your opinion?
Yeah. I'm more like 140K range, somewhere around there, plus or minus 10K maybe. But I mean, it's like, it's one of those things that I really think this bull market, or the upcoming bull run, whenever that may happen, um, I think it's going to come down to the election. I think it's going to, that's going to be the major factor on whether we'll see another few years of some bear, or if we go hit a moon rocket. You know what I mean? It's I don't know, man. There's so many different things in play nowadays, because we keep referring back to a lot of the data, because we always say, hey, when in doubt, zoom out, zoom out. You know what I mean? But our governments have such a big hand in cryptocurrency nowadays. Um, all the laws that are being passed down. Even Biden signed, recently signed a bill to kind of do some, a digital currency, a reform type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's so we had a lot of eyes before. Cryptocurrency had a lot of eyes before, mainly just Bitcoin, because you any normie, you look at them, you ask them, hey, what do you know about cryptocurrency? Yeah, I know about Bitcoin, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? So Bitcoin is the star in the show, and it's I don't know, man. It's a different day and age, in my opinion. There's a lot more people talking about it, and it's like I don't know.
You hit the nail on the head. The previous, like the previous bull runs where it would go, when it went from like 4,000 to 68,000, right, the industry wasn't really run as much as like a normal industry. Like people,
Yes.
you would just hear about it for 1 month when it was pumping, and then everyone would disappear. Then they'd come back. Nowadays, you're hearing about crypto and Bitcoin pretty much every day in the news. It wasn't like that in 2017. It was like that in 2014. It wasn't quite as much like that in 2021. So I think
Yeah.
the pumps are going to be just a little bit less. My prediction is I think we're going to go the next pump. It might start this month. I don't know. It might start in January. Who knows? It'll probably go to about $100,000. I'm thinking that'll be the next sort of threshold. Currently, this current threshold was the previous all-time high around 70. We go to
Yeah.
100. We'll probably flatline there for a little while, maybe 6 months, 9 months, maybe in a year. And then the good news is I don't think we're going to have too much of a dip like we usually do. Then I think the next leg up maybe will take us to 140, 150.
Yeah, I don't see us going back past maybe I
No.
think the last time I looked at it, somewhere around 38K was what I had as a bottom, so to speak. Not financial advice for everybody out there. Don't throw in some shorts at 38. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it just if worst case scenario in my opinion, you know what I mean. I kind of see it. I don't think it's heading anywhere south of 38K. That's kind of my, I don't know. But even then, like that's like literally that's worst case scenario,
Yeah,
and
it's just the industry's like too tight. Like it's everyone's just in it day to day, all day, every day. It's not it just
yeah,
doesn't have the feel of people like leaving the industry and getting bored like it did in all the previous bull market cycles. So yeah, it's people might be disappointed it's not going to go up 250,000. I just don't want 18-month dips. That's what I don't want. You know,
yes,
2018, it goes from 20,000 to 6,000 and then stays in the 3 to 6,000 range for exactly a year and a half.
yeah,
This cycle 2022 it did the same thing. 18 months it stayed at around 16 to $24,000 range. So
yeah,
no more of that. That's all I want.
yeah. You know what? It inadvertently it wasn't done on purpose. Of course, we all I call us all, we're all kind of like educated guessers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I just happened to throw in along at I think it was around like 24K, and then it started running up, running up, running
Hey,
up. And I was like, and also I had 200 I had a 200 leverage on it. So I was like,
wow. Jesus.
yeah. I was
This
like,
was
what?
like a year ago or so.
Yeah, it was a few months ago. A few months ago.
Okay, a few
Yeah.
months ago.
So when it because it started rising from 50, the around about the 15K mark, and I think the lowest was like what 15.4 somewhere around there.
Yeah, like
But
15.6. Yeah.
yeah, and then it started kind of running up, and then kind of bounced. It got it to 20, and it bounced back to 18 there. Then it got up to somewhere around 24, kind of bounced back a little bit and everything. But when it got back up to around, it was a little bit above 24. It's when I put in a 200x long, and next
Sweet.
thing you know, dude, that thing started.
Jesus.
Hey, I rode that thing. I rode it up to like 42K, and then I was like,
Man.
cash out.
Yeah.
I'm done. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow. But hey, but even then, like that was actually my best ever long ever. I don't never stick in like have my long set super far in advance like that. I just happened to get lucky. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let me just throw this in. Let's see what happens. And then boom, it was like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, your rationale was like when it was. I remember when I was at 24, it was that
Yeah,
feeling like it's just going to stay here forever. So at least you
yeah,
knew it kind of wasn't going to go down. It might have started to rise the next day, like a few more months, another
yeah,
year. You didn't know when it was going to be, but we did kind of know it just couldn't really go down from that level. Good
yeah.
trade.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, man, before we continue on going on and on and on, man, let's we know your name. You've been around the space for a long time, man. So, what kind of what's your background, and how'd you get into cryptocurrency?
So I've kind of been off and on in the space since 2017 or so. Now I have a YouTube and a Twitter page. I specialize mostly in low caps and meme coins. I've been doing that for about 2 years. So I was in it a little bit in 2017, 2018. I was not in it from 2018 to about 2021 or 2022, mid 2022. That's when I got back into it. So now I'm pretty much a content creator now. YouTube's I like, so you don't have to worry too much about exactly what the price movements. Are you making money? Are you losing money? Because you're just making content. Obviously, I hold a
Yeah,
lot of positions. I'm always aping new coins.
yeah.
I hope that most of the time they go up, but content creation, that's my main specialty at the moment here.
Okay. So was it a friend that got you into it, or was it your own curiosities?
Just kind of reading about it, just curiosity. I'm like
Okay.
everyone else, most people they say, okay, I read about it, but I was too lazy to buy it. No, I'm always like reading. I'm a little more proactive with that kind of stuff. So it always caught my interest. It was a little techy, it was a little edgy at the same time, and there was the
Yeah.
speculative element. So from the beginning, first time I read about it, whenever it was, I'm like, yeah, definitely interested.
Oh wow. Well, first time I heard about it, I said, it's fake. Ain't nobody buying that bullshit.
Uh, You're one of those people.
I was
Come on.
literally, man, this was like 2012. This was literally 2012. And some guys I worked with, because I used to live out in Cali, and I worked at the Tesla plant. I was a testing technician in our test lab. And uh, our mechanical engineer, he's like, man, hey, you need to buy you some Bitcoin. And I'm like, what the hell's a Bitcoin? I said, where can I buy it at? He said, well, you got to go here. Wait, I can't go to the store. Wait a minute. What is this? What are you talking about? And he started explaining it to me. I said, man, ain't nobody buying that bullshit. It's fake. And then I went on vacation, but him and a few other guys, they ended up buying a bunch of it and everything. So just I would say about every other year, he'll actually call me up. Chris will call me up and he'll be like, hey man, how's the broke life? I said, man, I'm in it, man. So I started actually getting into crypto in 2020. So around about that time when I got the phone call, I was like, man, I'm in it now. He's like, yeah, you're so late, but it's okay, man. Just keep buying. Just keep buying. And I'm like, I am. I said, well, how's the rich life? He said, I'm going on vacation. I'm going on another 2-month vacation tomorrow. And I'm like, oh man, well, I'm happy for you, man. Congratulations and everything. But like I say, it's one of those things. It's a reminder that, when people say they missed the train, I literally missed the train. Like people were like, said, hey, buy this. And instead of doing my research, I did a quick look and I said, it's fake. Ain't nobody buying that bullshit. And basically that vacation money, if I would have took that vacation money and bought some Bitcoin, I mean, I'm up teen millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy.
Then again, the flip side is like if you had done that, you probably would have sold it off at some point. Let's be real.
Oh yeah,
You
well
wouldn't
yeah,
have.
that too, yeah, that too. Cause you know what, and I tell people a lot of time too. Uh, when you come into crazy money like that and you've never held it before, you don't know what to do with it, because your first instinct is, oh, I can go buy this now. Oh, I can go
Yeah.
buy that now. And instead of taking a step back, and not everybody, some people may take a step back, but instead of taking a step back and saying, oh, you know what, I need to figure out what this is. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this, and get some type of financial literacy about yourself. But like you said, a lot of people's first impulse is, oh my goodness, this $100 turned into 100,000. I'm going to go buy a brand new car. I think the like the what was it, it was like the Dodge Demons and stuff like that's when all that stuff started coming out. It was, that I can honestly say that definitely would have been a purchase, but
I remember
but
the
that's
Dodge Demon.
yeah, man. And then they had the Camaro came out with their what was it? It was like Exorcist or some shit like that. Dude, they was crazy horsepower cars just like coming out of nowhere. But of course, the Hellcat just took over and just ran off with that whole that whole scene. But it's that's around about the time I also started getting into stocks and stuff. And instead of going back to saying, hey, you know what, let me recheck out the crypto, like I totally forgot all about it, man. I was all about the stocks and stuff. And I had made, I was making money on Tesla because I got into Tesla super early. I started buying a whole bunch of these other stocks like Amazon and stuff like that. So it was like I was paying so much attention to that I didn't pay attention to another industry, this piece of tech that I should have. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's what digital currency is. I mean, it's tech. And
It's
tech is the future.
Yeah, in late early 2021, a lot of people forget really like stocks were the trendier thing. It wasn't like crypto. Then it
Yeah.
started mooning a little bit after that, but everyone was getting into Tesla, GameStop. Elon was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That was the big thing there. But yeah,
Hey, so no,
yeah,
go ahead.
you bring up a good point. Like back in the people don't realize back in the like 10 years ago, there was a way like people didn't know if it was real money. Like you knew it was real money, but people had a fear they wouldn't be able to cash it out. Like your bank just wouldn't accept the transfer or something. So it was
Yeah.
a legit concern. Like even if the price goes up and your bitcoins are still there, it's like, am I ever going to be able to convert it? Does it actually people forget way back
Yeah.
in the day, times have changed. Now it's just like, is my investment going to go up or not? And which coin should I make? People keep it nice and simple there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. And then the whole thing, following the explosion, man, because you know people were sitting at home. It was COVID. People were sitting at home. They were just tossing money at this stuff because you heard Doge was making millionaires. It was like, oh, what is this? You know what I mean? And even today, there's still some people that they were buying around that time, and they never took the time to educate themselves on this tech, this thing that is taking over the financial industry. You know what I mean? And so how did you go about navigating, like from when you first started buying, up to we'll
Yeah.
we'll go over the whole thing. But when you first started out, like how did you navigate that? How did you educate yourself on what you were
Yeah,
doing?
I was just watching other YouTubers basically in 2017. It was Data Dash, Lark Davis, Chico
Okay.
Crypto, Crypto Zombie. There were like 4 or 5 big ones. So I mean, I should have started my channel back then. There were hardly any people, and it was just like that's how you got your education. And it wasn't really a meme coin. It was like, okay, do you want to buy Bitcoin? Do you want to buy Ethereum? Do you want to buy Stella? Tron had just come out. Do you want to buy that one? It's like, which of the top 10 coins do you want
Yeah.
to buy? So that's what got me education. And then, yeah, I knew at some point I was going to start my own YouTube channel. So it's happened about 2022. That is when I jumped in. I watched enough sort of content myself over the years that I kind of could figure out what the format was and what my style was going to be. So yeah, it's mostly low caps. The meme coin craze that just sort of came out of nowhere. I think a lot of it stems from the fact people back in the day we had to read complicated white papers, like high tech white papers. Boring as hell. Who the hell wants to do that? Like, I just want to is the meme funny? Is it a cute animal? Is it memeable? Can I interweave it into a tweet organically? Is there like some graphic design like AI thing that I can make a meme of that? It's now people just want to be fun and go viral, and that's all it is. So it's a different
Yeah.
kind of due diligence, and it's more interesting, less technical. You ask me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then it was like, you had more of like your serious players going on around about that time. I would say so, and then it's with the explosion, especially once Elon's name got into it, from my perspective, once Elon's name got into it, like the it started like really exploding. You had all of these just like young, just entrepreneurs, and even some older folks. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh my goodness, you can make you can actually make. Elon Musk is talking about this. This got to be real. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like say it went it went. I've noticed a lot of trends that are coming, falling, coming, falling, coming, falling. But now I kind of see the industry on a more business tick that's it's coming up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, we got our memes. We got our junk tokens, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But you're I'm starting to see a big wave of business minded individuals that are actually trying to create some real businesses utilizing the cryptocurrency. What do you think?
It's yeah. So the big debate right now is are utility coins going to come and take back? So in 2021, it was all utilities. There was a lot of like play to earn games. It was Dogecoin and Sheep, but there weren't like so many new meme coins every day being created. Now it's all meme coins. Now people say, are utility coins going to come back? I don't know. It could go either way. Frankly, it's really going to depend on what the big influencers like Ansem and them keep doing because everyone just does whatever they do. And they look like they're full on into meme coins and not changing anytime soon. So as long as
Yeah.
they stay into Solana, they stay into memes, that's going to be the trendy thing. But still, I think utility coins at some point are going to, make obviously trading bots. They had a huge performance in 2023. Trading bot
Yeah.
tokens, games have kind of been a little bit out. But if we have another big bull run in 2025, then gaming tokens are probably going to come back in. So we shall see. But I think we're going to have probably a mix going forward. Mostly memes still, but utility coins, we're going to probably have some new, some new sector. A lot of people saying AI coins are going to make another comeback. We shall see. Tough to predict.
Yeah, well, you know what? I guess we can look at maybe think about utility in a different form because when we used to say, oh, we want something that with utility, we want it to come with something. What's actually going to support the Jesus Christmas? God, I got these two little kittens and they are causing commotion, and it's just
Do they have a memeable name? Any meme coin can be based off these two cats?
Yes, absolutely.
There we go.
I'm gonna keep them on the DL until I start to market them.
You don't want people stealing that shit.
But no, when we used to say utility, we used to be like, oh, we want it's got to have a game to come with something. We want something that's gonna. We don't want it to just be a community token. And I don't think a lot of people really understand the whole concept of what a utility is supposed to, the function of a utility is supposed to have with with a token. Utility should support it in a way that brings outside revenue into your token. That's how it's supposed to support it. And a lot of these businesses with or a lot of the previous utilities, I would say, like you said, with the play to earn games and everything, they were like, oh, reflections, everybody's getting reflections and this and that. And it's like that's not necessarily a utility because you're still cycling the same funds around instead of bringing in new investors, because you need in a lot of those in a lot of those models, you have to continuously have new investors come in to continue the reflections, to continue the trading and stuff like that, because it gets to a point to where whoever's already in it either starting to take profits, or they're getting out. They're not buying anymore, and they're just waiting around to see what happens with it. You know what I mean? And it's like, for a utility should have some kind of business model behind it that not only brings in new investors, but brings in investors outside of the crypto space.
Yeah, so you brought up a good point. It's a fundamental problem with a lot of the play to earn game models. So it's obviously the token has use in the game, and you win more token by doing sort of obstacle courts or advancing to the next rounds. That's great, and the token is worth money. But then a lot of times when people leave so there's always a curiosity factor at the beginning. People want to play the game. They're curious, how much money can I make? Can I make tons, like I hear about in the media? Then when they realize, okay, I'm going to make like this amount of money, it's not quite as much as I thought. So now I'm going to exit the game. And obviously they're going to sell their tokens when they leave the game. So when there's more players coming out going in, which always happens at the 6 to 9 month mark, 12-month mark, then the token price sort of crashes. Then people don't want to go start playing the game because all they're reading about is the token price crashes. So that it's a fundamental flaw they haven't quite figured out yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And like and here's another thing too. So, the games that were coming out, these were not like AAA Ubisoft games. You know what I'm saying? This was literally like reskins of early phone games like Flappy Bird and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where people were building bots or whatever, which I don't necessarily know how, because I'm not a tech guy, so I don't necessarily know how they were doing it, but they were building these programs to play the game, these simple games for them. And of course you're earning the token, and you got this program just smashing through collecting all these tokens and stuff, and then at the same time you're selling the tokens, which that hurts the project even more, because not only are you not really bringing in enough people to keep that revenue stream going, you got people continuously taking out of your revenue, and of course that also declines the token. It sends it on a downward spiral, and then of course everybody's panicking and they're like, oh, sell button, sell button, sell button, and then your project's dead.
Yeah, and then aside from the players, then speculate, like you have the players who are going to play and get the tokens, then you have speculators, two totally different classes of people. Once the token
Yeah.
price goes down to the players leaving, the speculators aren't going to go there, and then the price is going to crash even more. So it's tricky. Like move to earn with STEPN, they also kind of found this too, just a big pump in the beginning, the first
Yeah.
3 to 4 months. Then it kind of sort of flatlined a little once people realize how much money they can be making, and maybe it's not quite as much in most cases. Then again, in the Philippines, for example, they're huge on Axie Infinity. They're huge on STEPN because for them, if it's $100, $200, a week, that's a lot of money there. So as long
Yeah.
as you find your players somewhere where it's the economics work for them, that makes it work. Could be that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Crypto could be anywhere in the world: Indonesia, Philippines, Africa, North America, anywhere. You just got to find your
Yeah.
customer base.
Well, see, and there's another problem too, is because a lot of the early projects, they were so focused on the U.S. market, where the U.S. market isn't as big as some of these other countries. You know what I'm saying? Like they are
Oh, much smaller.
literally,
Yeah.
yeah, they are utilizing cryptocurrency in a fashion that we here only dream about. You know what I'm saying? But we're headed there, but it's taken some time. Where a couple years ago, you know you already had stores taking cryptocurrency, where now you're still telling store owners that cryptocurrency isn't a scam. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're still fighting that battle that's already won in other countries. And
It,
but like I say, people were so focused on our market, they were building their token around our market, and that's why a lot of them ended up falling off and ceasing to exist.
yeah, I mean, it's not, the US does create most of the projects, most of the founders, most of the devs are from the US. So we kind of decide which projects are going to be promoted, are going to become trendy, but the customer base is much bigger in Asia, Indonesia, Europe, not Europe, Indonesia, Philippines, Nigeria is a huge, huge market. So that's where all the customers come from. So it's a global effort here, but it's always, for me, it's always what's going to be the next trendy sector. And I don't know. I think it's going to be something a little bit different than move to earn, a little bit different than play to earn. We shall see. But that's, I think it will be, memes will be good, but I think there will be some kind of new utility sector. It's just, what will it be?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do have that big shift, like kind of like you touched on earlier with to AI, man. I think, like I say, tech is going to start taking off and taking over, and especially in the cryptocurrency world, because we're already seeing it. Like people are, you have all these different projects creating trading bots. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I can utilize a bot to help me in my own trades. You know what I'm saying? And there's some out there that it's garbage, and basically they're just stealing your money. And then there's other ones out there that are actually creating some revenue. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
it fills a hole, which is that especially on Ethereum, a little bit in Solana, but on Ethereum, if you buy without a trading buy, if you just connect to Uniswap, you are going to get sandwiched. You're going to get wrecked. You're going to get a price like 30 to 40% higher than you should, just because Jared from Subway or one of his people is going to be sandwiching you. There's always going to be more advanced traders than you are. It's annoying, but you use a trading bot, then about 95% of the time you can avoid that. You still got to be a little bit careful slipping. And, I never really do like 100% of my trade, even with the trading, but I'll do like 5,
Yeah.
10% of the time, just because a couple times I still have been sandwiched. But that's a huge, I can't be losing 30% on slippage because I'm getting sandwiched. That's a huge,
Exactly.
right. Trading bots will always be needed, basically. So don't connect your trading bot to your wallet. A lot of people are getting absolutely just wrecked, getting hacked on that. But I always send the money into the trading bot. Takes in a few extra steps. You can make some mistakes, but no, then it's totally hack proof.
Yeah. And like I say, there's some legit, there are some legit projects out there right now that they have, part of their expanded, utilities is, they have bot platforms that, you can utilize for those that don't necessarily know how to that don't know where to go and to, create a bot or whatever the case may be. Because like I say, I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know how to create none of that stuff. I don't know how to do none of that stuff because that hasn't been my focus. You know what I mean? I do my trades, and I do a lot of leverage trading on a few different platforms and stuff. But it's like I never took the time to go into saying I completely trust a computer software, some computer, and I know there's stuff out there that actually works, but I still don't 100% trust some software to out trade me. As far as like, especially with predicting stuff, because I've used a couple different platforms, and I've always I would say 8 out of 10 times I'm outperforming bots as far as like with longer term stuff. No, I'm not talking about like launches and early tokens that super high I can't even say it, volatility.
Kind of a tongue twister. Volatility.
Yeah.
Part of the exam.
It's the Southern tongue, man. It's like we can't. It don't work like that, man.
You in Florida? Where are you? Florida or
Kentucky?
Oh, Kentucky. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make sure ask how the hurricane went if you were from Florida. Okay, Kentucky.
Oh man, I do have family down in Florida right now, and it's they're doing good. They texting and stuff. For those with people with iPhones, it ain't working too well down there. Where us Samsung and Android users, we ain't got no problem with cell service down there. So if you're having problems with any of your service, hook up with your buddy that's got a Samsung. That way you can call your loved ones. Yeah. But
there are a few influencers who are from Kentucky. They're not really docs though, so I can't really say who they are. But there are actually a few other people from Kentucky.
Believes.
Couple. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. He lives in Chicago, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he does. He does. But yeah, he's down here. Loudmouth is from Evansville area and stuff. Moi, Louisville.
Very nice. Very nice.
As a matter of fact, Ladybug, she's in the building. She's from Louisville too. You know what I mean? So yeah, nice. she's big in the Vault community, man. It's just awesome stuff. So
Kentucky's actually pretty well represented. You wouldn't think so, but they are. And
yeah, man, it's a hub. It literally, Louisville is a hub because whether you drive north, south, east, or west, you're within a 2-hour drive of another major city.
So like Atlanta to where you are, how long is that drive?
Oh well, no, Atlanta's less. It's like 6 hours. But so directly south of us is Nashville. North of us is Indianapolis. East of us is Cincinnati, Lexington. And then the other way is it's a little bit more longer than 2 hours. It's we got St. Louis, and then of course Chicago is a 6-hour drive. You got like Atlanta is a 6-hour drive. You got Charlotte, 6-hour drive. You have. You know what I mean? Louisville is a really great hub of the Midwest.
Very centrally located, it sounds like.
Yeah. It's nice, man. You get a lot, and like I said, a lot of stars come through here. Robin Williams, rest in peace. He used to come in a lot of time to the comedy clubs and stuff, and you get a lot of celebrities that come through here, man. Especially during Churchill Downs, boys.
It's what it's known for, you know, Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
There's more to it than the Derby.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. You know, and man, we are. This is like literally the central. Like this is Bourbonville. You know what I'm saying? Like especially here recently. You know, especially with a lot of these pop up distilleries and stuff like that. The bourbon industry around here has literally exploded. You could drive within an hour's drive of Louisville itself. You can hit 15 different distilleries.
Wow.
That's how crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not talking about some little stuff. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like you got Buffalo Trace, you have Jack Daniels, you got Jim Beam, you have Wild Turkey, you got Four Roses. I mean, all these different distilleries around here, and they produce a lot of different stuff. Like a lot of people don't know. Like if you enjoy Basil Hayden, hey, look, but that shelf back there, I got a lot of
There we go. There
I
we
got a
go.
lot I got
There
a
we
lot
go.
of good stuff, man. I'm a connoisseur, so to speak, of bourbon, you know what I mean? But you know,
Shelf
like
looks full. It's
yeah,
no empty
yeah, you
space
know,
in that shelf, that's for sure.
yeah, I'm actually in the process of I'm going to since I've done moved my little office area, whatever, I've taken over a lot more space in here in the basement. And I'm going to put up some shelving and stuff. I might even move the desk a little bit so I can display some of my really nice bourbons and stuff. Because, hey, man, this is Bourbonville. You got to show off the goods. You know?
You got to represent whatever is big in your area, you know, it's bourbon. So,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, where are you from?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is. That Boston. See, I can't
The
even say it
accent,
like
it
that.
comes out when I'm drinking. So when I normally you don't, it's very faint. When I'm drinking, then it's coming out more.
Yeah.
That's how it is for most Bostonians. It's like real thick on a Friday night, you know.
Yeah. So you guys up that way, man. It's a real big fishing and stuff, right?
Yeah, I
Uh
mean, up in big lobster territory here,
Yeah, lobster.
swordfish,
Oh
salmon.
man.
Yeah,
I oh man, I love lobster. I'm serious, man. I love it. I love me
New
some good
England is the
lobster, man.
capital, right? It is. Lobster is a tease because the portions are so small, but it's the best tasting food in the world. It's just like a tease. But I love it just as much as you do.
Yeah, yeah. I need quite a bit of. I need the lobster buffet. I need the crab buffet because it's not enough. I need it.
And
Oh, but tell you what, king crab legs for anybody that loves some crab. If you ain't never had king crab legs, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it. You pull out a slab of meat like that, fucking whoa. Let me, especially
so,
when it's prepared
so it's
right.
good bang for your buck, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then all the stuff, it's got to be like the West Coast lobster. It's not nearly. It's got to be East Coast, Northeast lobster. It's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So man, what about how is the crypto industry is there any kind of presence up in Boston?
A little bit. It's kind of niche. Algorand, the project, so they're based in Boston. You know, Algorand,
Okay.
like a
Yep.
top 10, the big blockchain, top
Yep.
15 coin. They're here. There's one VC, Castle Island Ventures, got a couple hundred million in management. They fund a bunch of projects you've heard of, but didn't quite know that they were in those rounds. So those are the two big entities. So it's more of a niche It's not nearly as big as like New York, for example, but
Yeah.
there's a niche scene here.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it always like changes what the big city is. I mean, it's LA, then New York, and then it was San Francisco back in the day. Then it was New York, then LA, then Miami. Now it's kind of Miami isn't really the center anymore. So now
Yeah.
it's just like internet. I mean, back like in 2017, the idea of going to a conference in another country was just unheard of. That was
Yeah.
just not any conference you went to was in the US, preferably local. Now, I mean, people are going to, taking 19-hour flights, New York to Singapore. I mean, it looked like
Yeah.
a fun time, but yeah, that 19-hour flight just wasn't really enticing enough for me.
Yeah.
How about you? Yeah, I'll stick to like the Toronto conferences, a quick, 1 hour flight, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
thinking about going to?
they just had one in there's one out in Utah right now.
Oh,
Is
really?
it Utah? I want to say. Uh, Loudmouth just posted the other day. I think it's in Utah.
Yeah,
There's a
that
conference
guy
out
is.
there.
So let's talk about Loudmouth. That guy, so I don't really know who he is. I just see on Twitter he is at every conference and he appears to
He
be
is
the
at
center of attention at like every conference.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Hey, not only, dude, a lot of people, when they see a lot of the more popular influencers and stuff like that, like some of them guys, they are just like totally big headed. They don't, unless you got 100,000 followers, they don't want to talk to you, type of thing. You know what I mean? But like Loudmouth, man, specifically, like he is so down to earth. I was amazed when I first got a chance to talk to him. You know what I mean? It was like, wow, man, you're just a straight just dude. He'll tell you, man, he's a Kentucky boy. You know what I mean? He's family oriented. You know what I mean? Um, um, he talked about his past a little bit. He was in some trouble. He changed his life around, found Jesus, and just went on this journey of educating people about crypto and Jesus and crypto. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. You know what I mean? And he's got so much support, man, because he's built this name, he's built this brand around him. You know what I mean? Like everywhere you go, you see that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? That's his.
He has branded that better than
Yes.
anyone branding their own look in crypto.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Did you see it? So in at the which I'm so sad. I was actually out of town for work during the convention in Nashville, the Bitcoin convention in Nashville. I was supposed to win, and work just got in the way. But he was down there, and Haley Welsh, when she first got huge, Hawk Tour.
Yeah.
Like he's got a picture of her holding his mask with the and like this, and I was like, that is dope. See, that's what like when you have like this energy and persona about yourself, man, you can pretty much go anywhere. You go anywhere and have a good time.
Yeah, those two seem like
gravitate to that.
They're a match made in heaven. Those two. Now that you mention it.
Yeah,
very similar vibes, very similar styles. Those two. It's fitting that they would end up talking to each other at a conference.
Yeah, but like Loudmouth, he gets around, man. He talks, dude. There's some people that he's talked to, shook hands with, and and not only that, he's real big in with karate combat and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, that whole persona and that what he has, he's been able to market that so well that he's just he's been very successful at it. You know what I mean? And anybody, just like anybody would model some type of business around, like following in Mr. Beast's footsteps, following in any of the Paul brothers footsteps. You know what I'm saying? Like you see this guy, he's successful, you gotta take a step back and be like, what's the sauce? I have to know, like, what is this? What does he have that's and literally, I in my opinion, I think it's just him, dude. He's just that type of dude where he could walk into the room of strangers and their best friend, everybody's best friends in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you got to know, like, are you better like as an in-person kind of person? You better on camera? You better on Twitter Space? You got to know like what your style is. So he's obviously an in-person. He seems like he kind of just commands the room right when he walks into a room. So yeah, I mean that's that. And let's talk about karate combats. Anyone who like does karate combat once, that becomes like their whole persona. They're like really into it. People get like really attached to that brand. Man. To think of them as more of like a karate combat person than a crypto person. I'm like, are these people even in crypto? I don't know. But I saw some of the fights at Consensus. It was the Fire Festival guy, Billy McFarland was fighting Jay Chains. That whole lineup. So it was fun times. You're so tired. It was a long conference day. So you're like networking from like 9 a.m. to like 7 p.m. And then you go straight to karate combat. That's 5 to 6 hours. So I think it would be a little bit better if it like wasn't right on a conference day. They usually tend to lump them two together, but very entertaining fights.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the whole influencer, like the whole influencer. How do we even say that the influencer combat sports, like that whole genre has really taken off? It's crazy. Like who would have thought a year ago that you would see BitBoy in a ring fighting somebody? You know what I'm saying? The blonde broker. Who would have thought you would ever seen last year? You would have seen her in a fight, a public fight, like a promoted fight, like.
And they
who would have thought
to
this stuff?
Like they seem to legitimately hate each other. Like at first, I thought that beef was fabricated. They were just like just for show. And no, I think
Yeah.
they actually did have some real. Used to be friends. It's some typical 25-year-old chick beef, and then I guess they've semi gotten over it. But they weren't faking anything. That's for sure.
Really? Oh man. See, I didn't get to
You
watch
thought
a
they were
whole.
maybe,
Yeah, I thought, because people market things, you know what I'm saying? You
yeah.
see it in the UFC all the time. Like they'll be like, oh, I hate your guts, and calling each other names, talking about the families and stuff.
And
They
then they're
get in the ring
drinking
and they
together the
box.
next
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then yeah, right after the fucking fight, they're shaking hands, smiling, and like you said, at the bar,
Yeah.
having a drink, and it's
Then
like,
they're at the club boozing it up, like hugging each other. Like it kind of takes it away from me. I want them to stay mad at each other at least to a certain.
yes,
I want it to be like in boxing this never really happens. In UFC this never happens. I want the hatred to just stay there.
yeah,
Um,
like well, I think it used to. There was a lot of people that used to really hate each other, like early UFC days. They like they legitimately, but I think they have more taken the like the WWE approach and created like personas, created a storyline to help sell
yeah.
the shows and the fights and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's
And
just that whole
honestly,
build up.
it's once you start making enough money and anything like that, you kind of just become a happier person in life. I feel like so.
Yeah,
All those top UFC stars, life's pretty good. I don't really think they hate people. Once you're like when you're rising up, then you're like gunning for people's throats. So once you're at the
yeah,
top, life's pretty good. You don't really hate anyone. That's
yeah.
it.
Absolutely, man. So let's just hit on your content creation career, man. Because like I say, we talked about you being a trader and everything, and some of the stuff. But how's your content creation gone, man? It's like, you know, like what are some of, like, when you first got started? Was there ever a point where you was like, you know what, I don't like doing this?
I wasn't really that comfortable on camera initially. Like some people are very used to social media their whole life, so it's a natural transit. That wasn't me. I never really used social media that much, so it's sort of a
Yeah,
learning skill. Right now I've sort of changed. I used to do 5 to 10 minute videos. Now I'm doing mostly kind of short form, 1 to 2 minute videos. But everything's just perfectly kind of worded and not really scripted. But I just get right to the meat of no extraneous talk, none of that stuff. Just kind of get right to it, and
yeah.
that is getting some good. People seem to like those videos, so it's going well
You
and definitely and
you
it's
you do a lot of retakes.
yeah, oh, I'm the worst at that. Yeah. Tons and tons.
I
Like,
hate it. I hate it.
yeah.
I cannot do a recorded video to save my life. Like I was trying to do that because of course as a content creator I wanted to grow, and I found myself spending an hour to post a whatever 60-second short on YouTube. It's like, how do people do this?
It's
Like,
something like Rodney and Classy. They tell me they just kind of talk into the camera. They don't need to do retakes. Like it comes out perfectly. If they're telling the truth,
really?
that's impressive. I need to retake it. I like misspoke. I didn't put enough emphasis. I did a double word. Now I'm always doing retakes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same way
and
with
it
you.
or like I'll be talking. I'm like, yeah, so Bitcoin hit the shit, and I hit stop, and I
Yeah.
got to restart it. I'm like, and then I get so flustered and frustrated about the 10th retake. I'm so flustered and frustrated. I'm like, ugh, no, like you can see that my frustration. Then I'm like trying to change my face because I look so frustrated and pissed off, and my eyes are red. And then I gotta shake it off a little bit, and I gotta try to retake it, and I'm doing a different angle because I don't want all my fat right here showing. And then I'm doing another angle because my eye looked like it was cockeyed this way a little bit. Then I gotta do another. It's like I don't get.
There's a limit that my limit on the number of takes per scene is like 6 or 7. Past that, then you get too angry. You've kind of forgotten what you need to emphasize that sort of stuff. So you have 6 or 7 takes, and you got to just go with what you have at take 7 and move on. So I
Yeah.
found it's not a perfect science. Just go with what you have and go to the next scene.
Well, you know what? I have found that I am having way more success not doing just straight. Well, I guess maybe taking like I said, I never heard them say that, but maybe taking that sort of approach is like, I just like to talk and shoot the shit. You know what I mean? And you know, whatever questions come across or whatever thoughts come across, I just go ahead and say it and everything, and say what's on my mind, and not focus too much on trying to perfect it, trying to enunciate my words type of things, you know what I'm saying? And because I'll say some shit and I'll re-listen to it. I'm like, damn, it sounded like I said dog when I said this, you know what I mean? Or it sounded like I said that. And it's like, you know what? Maybe they'll get it, maybe they won't. I don't try to focus on that because you know I took a break from even doing content creation for like a month last year because I got so caught up in trying to perfect it because like I see all this growth around me. People are growing, people, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then people keep telling me, oh, you're such a great content creator. And then it's like, you know, like my views don't reflect that. And then it's like my follower counts don't reflect that. And then of course projects reach out to me and I tell them what I want to charge. And then they're like, oh, well, your follower, you don't have that type of following to be charging that. And I'm like, what are you like? Are you serious, bro? Like I'm still doing work regardless. You know what I mean? And people wanted me to do free shit all the time. And it's like, I had to take a step back because it's like, for one, I had to ask myself, if it was really something I wanted to do? You know what I'm saying? And then for two, it's like, what am I doing to not enjoy this anymore? You know what I mean? Because it got to a point where I was just like, I was about to be like, just fuck this. I was gonna be another, hey, my setup was just gonna be another long list of shit that's on Facebook Marketplace saying, hey, you know what? I tried content creation, I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. So did you ever have a moment like that?
And not really. It's when I switched up my style. So I used to do the long form 5 or 10 minutes where it wasn't an exact science. I'd kind of just talk, but I was watching those back. I'd watch them afterwards, and I kind of realized, okay, I think it's a little bit better when I sort of enunciate and sort of kind of script some of the scenes. And now I do the 2 minute scenes. I think it sounds better, and I think the views definitely reflect that. But for me, tell me if you find this like the hardest thing I've noticed with YouTube. So you pretty much have to do the big community coins because those get the most views. The
Yeah.
Caspas or the baby doges, which those are good. But then a lot of people, obviously, they're more interested, understandably, in just having a low market cap coin with little community because that's who you can make the money off of. But
Yeah.
you're just not, you can't get the views there. So you'd have to do the big projects, even though you're not going to make nearly as much money because everyone already knows about them, and then so
Yeah.
your viewers can't make as much money. So I kind of mix them both. I used to do just big projects. Then I did mostly low caps. Now I do both, a few more big projects. You got to build your community. You need your follower count to your views to grow. So that's the way I see it. But yeah, it's a delicate science. It's never going to be perfect
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Well, plus at the same time, like, I had to also look at the fact that like I post to so many platforms. Like even like right now, I'm streaming to 8 different platforms. This is also I also post, my shows on to the audio, for all the podcast stations and platforms and stuff like that. And it's like I had to take a step back because I was so focused on my YouTube that I didn't see that I had a much larger following than I originally thought. I was like, so when you actually count it all up, and it's like, oh damn, okay, I'm doing pretty well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, because some people are just like Twitch focused, some people are YouTube focused, some people are Twitter focused. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm taking a different approach, and I'm not focusing on any specific platform because the way I do my stuff, it's not specific to any platform. You know?
It's yeah, different videos catch on in different platforms. Twitter is much better for 1 to 2 minute short videos because everyone's like ADD on Twitter scrolling. YouTube,
Yeah.
5 to 10 minute, 15-minute videos, those tend to do much better, and YouTube promotes that in its algorithm more. So it's really it could be totally. Some people are huge on Twitter, some people are huge on YouTube, but you got to kind of figure out. But yeah, across all your platforms, and yeah, it is the sum total is much more than on any one than it looks on any one individual platform.
Yeah. Yeah, because I definitely notice a different trend from TikTok to, like I say, Twitch to Kick and everything. Like Kick and Twitch streamers are kind of like, when they're the serious ones, it's kind of the same, but like what works on all that different stuff. It's like I don't want to go. I don't have the time and patience to go through everything that they go
No.
through to create that type of content. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
definitely.
It's like, dude, these guys, these guys and gals. I mean, they're doing like 12-hour streams and shit, and it's like, I don't have time for that. I got a business to run. I got work to do. I got family. You know, I got my wife to, to take care of. I got my house. I gotta go cut my grass. I got to, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't
Always so much time in the day. Exactly.
yeah, I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like because my goals are different as well. You know what I mean? But like I say, they produce content specifically to that platform. And of course, I guess if you're going to just stay platform specific, you're going to be a lot more successful
Exactly.
on that platform anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
it is. It's easy. Like some, even if you have a big following on YouTube, so like some videos just still aren't going to get a lot, like a coin nobody's heard of. But then if you have a decent
yeah,
sized following on Twitter, pretty much any video you put will at least get some bare minimum of views. So there's pros and
yeah,
cons of each. A video can
yeah,
really go more viral on YouTube than Twitter. So you got to know
yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely, man. So look, there's two questions I asked my guests. All
Sure,
right.
go ahead.
And because this is called Behind the Bullshit, these questions are centered around some of the bullshit you've experienced along your journey, whether it may be in crypto or maybe your content creation. So there's some moments in your journey that you experience times of bullshit, right? Where it's either you have your good bullshit and you have bad bullshit, and it's like, so the way I explain it is like, okay, so you have good bullshit where it's like, you know what? I reached out to somebody and they turned me down. So like even myself, so I reached out to a big time guy that's got a big huge platform, and basically told me I was not good or I was too small for him to attend my podcast. And so I thought it was some bullshit, but then at the same time it was like it gave me the drive to keep going and to continue. And of course I'm getting better and better and better, right? So that would be my good bullshit moment. And then there's other bad bullshit moments where it's like, maybe Saitama, this whole Saitama thing I was explaining to you, where I sent my entire bag to my wallet and then I couldn't access it anymore. So I had to watch over $100,000 dwindle to zero. So that was some straight bullshit. I wouldn't wish that on my best friend. You know what I'm saying? So, or excuse me, on my worst enemy, I would say. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example of some good bullshit, and then it's an example of some bad bullshit. You know what I mean? So, what would be a good bullshit moment for you?
It's my number one pet peeve that I can't stand the most. I don't have a problem with like round tripping bags. Like I usually sell at the right point, but just when there's like a good project and then there's just drama in the community, a coin with drama, it's just never ever going to succeed. And people can
Mm,
single handedly kind of bring a coin down. So
yeah,
I just can't stand that. Like people don't, drama is just not, it's not profitability. Everyone has to get along. That's what business is. You start to learn to work with people that you wouldn't necessarily like normally, but you're never going to do it on your own. You got to learn to work with other people in this industry, especially. I mean, that's the downfall. You can, in other industries, in the normal workplace, if you cause drama, you get fired. So, you're held
yeah,
accountable. Crypto, it's not like that. And Twitter doesn't even ban any accounts, hardly any. So when there's just drama, especially with a good project, because there aren't that many good profitable projects out there, it's few and far between. So we have some good ones and just the community. I have certain influencers that I just, they bring a lot of drama. I always try to stay away from them. So I look at the coin, I look at the brand, but then who's around it? Are they drama or are they not? And are they profitable? Drama is just not good for profitability. It's my number one pet peeve. I feel like it's been getting worse lately.
yeah,
It's with men much more than women. A lot of the girls are pointing that out. I agree 100%. The girls don't really
yeah.
have any drama with each other, but men, guys having drama with each other, it is just nonstop. So yeah, that's my number one pet.
It
That
is.
profitability. That's what I care about. I don't like drama. It's
That's
not
what I'm
profitable.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm here to make money. Fuck all,
Exactly.
hey, fuck all that fighting. Y'all, go to the octagon. You won't fight. This is crypto. We're here to make some money.
Right. Money, money is first priority, to get your drama fixed from other things, just not crypto, not where there's money to be made.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I like that. That is dope. That's what I'm gonna tell you. That's one of the best answers I've had.
And would
That's
you
one of,
agree? I feel like it's just been getting worse the last couple months. It's just the drama problem. It's
it
just getting worse and
has.
worse. I feel like.
And you know what I've noticed? You know what I've noticed with that? That we used to see the devs fighting a lot, and then now it's the creators, it's the shillers that are fighting amongst each other. It's like no, this you don't know what you're talking about. This is my bad. It's my pride. And it's like, what are you talking about? Then they're like, oh well, your content sucks. Like I've had people tell me I'm like I suck, and I'm like, you suck on these nuts. Yeah. That's what I'm like, get out of here with that, man. Everybody's got a different niche to them. You know what I mean? And it's like nobody's better than anybody, in my opinion. Everybody's good in their own right. Everybody's got whatever following they got. I don't care if it's one or a million. You got somebody watching you. Hey, that's some good content. You could be sitting here with zero.
Yeah, I think I do remember like a year, that story you said about a year and a half ago. Whoever you reached out to be on your podcast, they responded. I think I remember you tweeting about that. I think I figured out who it was back then. We don't need to say, but I'm like, who is he talking about here? I think I narrowed it down to one person that I don't really know, but this person fit the profile. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. And you know what? That actually happened to me recently, right? So I really started to hit some good numbers on my podcast, as far as like the on like the SoundCloud and stuff like that. I was hitting some good numbers. Like when I first started this out, I was getting maybe three listens like every 7 days, and now I'm up to almost 1,000. And so I was like, so when it hit around like the 500 mark, I was like, oh man, let me hit up some really big people, and let's see if I can get them on. You know what I mean? Like, so I hit up Grant Cardone, right? He actually responded to me, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I like that, because I was like, hey, the same message I sent you. Hey, you know what? Buying the bullshit, it's unscripted and everything. Just let's get a little talk and going on about what your journey, your crypto journey, your ups and downs and stuff like that. And he was like, I like the idea. Hey, let's set it up. Email my receptionist. So I was like, oh, fucking dope, right? So I email her, and she responds and says, oh, Mr. 10X is super busy. We reserve his time for more popular platforms. So we're not able to schedule anything with you at this time. And I'm like,
oh, yeah. Why would he say yes to? Why would he even? He didn't even need to respond if he didn't.
Hey, I sent her back the screenshot. I sent her back the screenshot of our conversation where he was like, yes, let's set it up. And I was like, he responded to me and said he'd like to set it up. I mean, is there any cross communication? Oh, he just says yes to this stuff like this all the time. And I'm like,
I like people who are like a man of their word. Like, if you don't want to do something, just don't say you're gonna. Like, just if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, and that's the way I like people. Oh,
speaking. All right. So I just got to hit because we're gonna get to your bad bullshit real quick, but I just got to point this out. So more recently, so I kind of had this I don't know, man. I don't like to fight and argue with people. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of I've been having it out with this dude, right? So there's a guy that goes by the name of John Kraske on LinkedIn, because I do a lot of networking on LinkedIn, way more than because I like to connect with other business people. You know what I mean? And so this guy earlier this year, he released a book about building a community on LinkedIn and this and that and everything. And I was like, hey, I got a podcast, because he was on a live. Matter of fact, he was live and everything, because I was watching this dude, and I'm like, hey, I posted on his live. I was like, hey, I got a podcast that I help you promote your book and everything. Come on, and we can talk about it. He was like, oh yes, great. Look at that right there. See, that's what I'm talking about. Community. Let's set it up. So then I'm like, oh, cool. All right, that's cool. So I DM the guy, and he proceeds to tell me that how about how important he is, and that I don't need to just be randomly sending him messages. And I'm like, I'm the same guy that you just responded to in your live. and everything. He's like, oh, you're not approaching me in the right fashion and this and that. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, you know what I mean? Like, get out of here with that, man. You ain't as outside of LinkedIn. Nobody knows who the hell you even are. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. So then, so so then last week, right? This guy that has this book about building communities on LinkedIn and this and that, you know, all about community, right? He makes this long post on LinkedIn and says, hey, I didn't even really want to be here, but I'm showing up because I have to type, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole I need to make my quota and make some posts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, that's not building a community. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so I called him out. About it on his post. And he deletes my post and blocks me. So then I make a post on Twitter. I'm like, this dude John Kraske, don't nobody know who you are. You know, I kind of went in on him a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's that type of that's that type of bullshit that I really despise, man. Is for one, people that don't keep the word. You know what I'm saying? And for two, like just the whole rounded just fakeness. You know what I mean? Like I despise that shit. You know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, hey, you can reach out to me if you have any questions about this and that and this. Whether I don't care if it's crypto content, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like I lend a hand wherever I can. You know what I mean? Because that's just the type of person I am. You know what I mean? I know the struggles of only having one person watching my shit. You know what I mean? So it's like I identify with that. I haven't grown too big to not understand that. Hey, everybody's got questions. I still have questions nowadays. You know what I mean? And I've helped a lot of people, but don't sit here and tell somebody to fucking reach out to you. Hey, let's do it. And then you proceed to scold me like I'm your fucking kid. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here with that.
Right. Like anyone has the freedom to just not respond. Nobody even responds saying, anyway, if you don't want to do it, just don't respond.
Exactly.
But I will say, even though you had some not good luck, obviously with Grant Cardone, you have had a pretty good success rate. You got Wendy O on the show, you got Bitboy on the show, you got Believe. So you have had some these are like top 5 influencers. So what do you do? Just reach out to them? Like, did you know these people ahead of time? You just reached out to them randomly?
Look, I'm gonna tell you what. So Bitboy was a lot harder to get. I started messaging this man in January, and literally, but consistently, you know what I mean? But because I kind of understood at the same time, like he was going through his troubles and stuff, you know what I mean? And I would reach out every once in a while, be like, hey, just to let you know, I'm still interested in having a conversation. I'm not bringing you on to bash you or attack you because I'm unbiased. You know what I mean? I just like to get the story. I like to talk to people, and everything. And I never, he always seen it, but he never told me to leave because at one point I was like, hey, if I'm bugging you, man, or if you're just really not interested, I wouldn't get, it's no dirt off my shoulder for you to just say fuck off. I would respect that and just be like, hey, all right, cool, that's fine. I'll move on to the next person. You know what I mean? But he never responded. He always seen my posts or my messages to him, but he never responded. And then out the blue, he was like, you know what, man, you've been pretty consistent in messaging me. Let's set it up. And I'm like, hell yeah, man, let's go. I said, let's go, man. And shit, and then 2 weeks after that, I had him on the show, man. We had a great conversation, man. It was pretty dope, and it's just like one of those things. Like I am pretty consistent. Unless you tell me to leave you alone, I'm consistent. I'll message you, be like, hey, especially like I'll hit you up like, hey, buddy, hey, we ain't talked in years, man. Come on, let's you know what I mean? Because I mean, it's like, I'm not one of those. I don't like that fake shit. Like I am me 100% of the time. You know what I mean? And I don't identify, and I can't understand why people have to be one way in front of the camera and then another way behind closed doors. It's I don't understand it.
Yeah, and I'll give BitBoy credit. He does help out, smaller influencers as well as do podcasts with the bigger ones. Not all big influencers,
Yeah,
most big influencers don't do that. And then
yeah,
yeah, and in defense of him, he always has to worry if somebody that he doesn't know is asking to be on. He's always is it a setup, He's got that personality
yeah,
type. It could
yeah.
be a total setup, like a Bill Maher type setup. So yeah, but I guess persistence. He kind of saw you were chilling, how to work with Wendy O. You just randomly hit her up and she's like, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it was I hit her up a few times, and then
Okay.
she finally responded. Usually for the most part, a lot of people I'll hit them up maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I'll get a response. It'll either be, "Hey, you know what? I don't have time," or it'll be like, "Hey, yeah, let's set it up." I actually had um I had her set up before, and just scheduling got in the way. We had to cancel it and then reschedule it. There's been another one like Deb, Crypto Deb. Like she did her whole rebrand and stuff like that, and I'm still working to get her back on. You know what I mean? It's just scheduling. A lot of the times, most of the time, but for the most part, I think BitBoy was the longest. That was the longest period of me messaging to get a response, I would say.
Persistence pays off.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then like say I mean I get to talk with people, you know what I mean? And then, through a lot of different networking and stuff, like I've got phone numbers, personal cell phone numbers of people nowadays that I never would have dreamed. Like when I first started content creation, like I was watching these guys and gals, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, bewildered and learning from them and stuff like that. And now I have the opportunity to actually talk to them and get some information and ask some questions and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always about learning, and anything I can do to learn to make myself better. Hey, I'll take any piece of criticism and I'll take it, I'll apply it. I may or may not apply it, depending on what it is. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm able to apply it and it kind of fits with what I do, hell yeah, I'm down to change some things up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
totally agree with that.
So let's get to your bad bullshit moment, man. So what would be a bad bullshit moment via, say, this is something that happened to you during the course of your either whether it would be crypto or content creation, that you was just like, you know what, this is some straight bullshit. I don't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's like a specific moment, but yeah, with the content creation, so obviously, some coins you don't even own. You're just doing it because that's what the community is. You like the community, and they have a bunch of news. You can do like
Yeah,
regular videos multiple times a week, and there's enough to talk about.
yeah,
But you don't own it, so the price could be going down, and then obviously people are just going to take it out. And they think you like own tons of tokens. You're part of the team. You own like 5% of the supply. No, I have the low cap coins. I'm aping. I'm trying to go up, but then a lot of coins are just content creation. I don't own it. If it's a $500 million coin, you can't make too much money off it. So I'm not really going to allocate part of my portfolio
yeah,
to it. But obviously, the influencer gets the brunt of it. The coin's going down. You are the punching bag. People are not going
yeah,
to be happy. You get it much more
yeah,
on the Twitter side than the YouTube. YouTube isn't too bad. You don't get too many like vile haters.
yeah.
Twitter, yeah. Then thankfully the block button on Twitter is still in action. That's very good right there.
Let me get your opinion on this, right? Because me and Bleez was talking the other day, and we was kind of talking about the whole thing where content creators will be paid to shill, right? So, and a lot of the times, you're paid in whatever token that you're promoting, right? So as a content creator, and what we do, man, we get paid for what we do. We work hard, you know what I mean? Because we got to do a lot of research on these projects. We have to stay up on the news in these projects. We have to pay attention to all their posts because we want to stay up on everything. And you know what I mean? It's like, why should we, because I was totally against this at first, but after that conversation, because I never had it before, it's like, why should we as content creators have to hold a bag to zero when that was our payment to promote something?
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like why should, because if we hold it to zero, we didn't get paid.
It's yeah, most of the time I've been lucky that when most of the times the team's just paying stables, but the few times they do pay in the native token, they have been the good performing projects. So I looked at them like, yeah, this I think this token is going to go up. So I've just held naturally, and it's either stayed the same or gone up. So I've never had that problem like that. But generally, teams with poor performing tokens don't really offer it up because they just know that people are going to say no. But yeah, if you're getting paid, and obviously the amounts we'd be getting paid is if we sold it, it's not going to like nuke a coin the way if the top
Yeah.
5 influencers, if they get a payment, yeah, it could nuke the coin. So we don't have to deal with it quite as much. But for the most part, yeah, if you're getting paid, you have the right to sell whenever, and our amounts aren't going to do too much damage. So yeah, that's my opinion. I agree with you 100%. You can sell whenever. Got to put food
Yeah.
on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, like I say, man, all these subscriptions and equipments and all this other stuff, man, especially for growing platforms, you know what I mean? It's like we expend a lot of money on these various things, you know what I'm saying? Like I pay for, just in my example, I pay for the complete Adobe suite, you know what I mean? I pay for all these different editing platforms, and subscribe to all the social platforms. I got all their subscriptions and stuff like that, and it's like I expel a lot of money. So it's not necessarily fair for me to do work for free.
Right. And not only
You
do
know
we
what I
pay for
mean?
these, I have 3 editing platforms I use, and we actually also have to learn how to do the editing and do the editing. It takes time too. So yeah,
Yes.
that's what makes the videos look better and makes you want to watch them. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely have the right to get paid for stuff.
Out and buy, and so I'm getting ready to have to buy, because I recently bought this camera, and I love it, by the way, but I think I'm going to get a better lens for it, because I mean it's super clear compared to what I had before, but it can be better. But I think I'm gonna have to get another one, because I think I got another show that me and Bleaves have cooking in the background. That I'm serious, man. It's going to be. I'm gonna have to talk with you, because I'm gonna have to talk to you about this later, because it's a great concept. We haven't got it completely lined out yet, but I think it's going to be complete comedy, but it's going to be a show that I think it's going to be a good show. Like when he initially brought it to he was like, "Hey man, we ought to do this," and he rammed off a bunch of names. I was like, "Dude, we can totally do this." And then he was like, "All right, cool." And then I let it go, and then like the next day, I was like, "Bleeves, we have to do this. Look, I got like the first skit just totally like planned out. I got the names of the characters. I got all this shit already lined up." And he just laughed. He was like, "All right, man. Hey, let's get talking. Let's get serious about it." So I think I'm gonna end up having to buy a few more cameras and stuff so we can get these shows lined up. But man, it would be cool to bring on some other personalities, man, and I think you would definitely fit one of the characters. I'll have once we get it lined out, I'll reach out. I'm gonna definitely reach out to you, and because I think you'd be the perfect role for this one specific person. That's because basically we're doing a parody of something. I don't want to give too much information about it, because the concept is so dope that I don't want it copied right now. But I think it's gonna be dope, man. I think it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be
I'd
funny, and
be
it's just pure, just us having fun type of thing. You
I'd
know
be
what I
good
mean?
as like the person getting parodied or somebody doing the
No, no,
parody.
no, no, not
Doing
no,
the parody.
no. We're not. No, it's not
It
not
sounds
a parody of
intriguing.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a parody of you.
Okay.
It's something. This is like totally just. This is going to be like kind of like a series type thing.
Yeah. Well,
So it's not going to be one specific show. This is going to work itself into like a series.
sounds
So
intriguing. Very intriguing.
yeah, man, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, even like right now, I'm like, dude, we can still do this. I think it'll be, look, I think it'll be totally fun. Plus, at the same time, man, especially with right now with so much bad shit going on in the world, man. I think it's time for a few of us to just bring some comedy to the
Yeah.
space, and you know what I mean, and to just get rid of a lot of that negativity, because we got the SEC all up in our shit. We got the elections coming up. We have hurricanes fucking destroying everything. We got countries at war that's threatening us and we're threatening them, and there's so much bullshit going on in the world right now that I really think that we really need a bit. We got Diddy in the news. We got, you know what I'm saying? It's like everywhere you look, it's some negative shit, man. I think that bringing some comedy to the space, especially the crypto space right now, I think it's gonna do some shit, man. I think it's gonna be some kind of
and just so
special.
much drama on crypto Twitter on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, there's not enough of this lighthearted fun,
Yeah.
fun stuff. So comedy is much needed in this industry. I agree.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, man, I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, bro. I got one last question for you.
Sure.
So, what are you big on right now as far as crypto? Like, what is your go-to token or project right now?
Memes. I don't really have a single go-to token to be. I would be just showing my heart's galore here. If I had one, I don't. Memes. I think I'm always bullish on Solana, but I feel like it's going to be a new chain that's going to come out, just sort of take over the way Solana did about a year ago. So I think it's going to be memes on a new chain. It could be Sui. That's showing that's getting pretty hot. Caspa has a pretty big meme token launching over the weekend. So then if that one's big, then you're going to be seeing more memes launched on Caspa. But I definitely think it's going to be a new thing. Solana will always be big, but I don't think it can rise a little bit. I don't think it can go up that much anymore. So it's going to be a new chain. So that's what I think.
Okay. All right, man. Well, look, man, I appreciate your I appreciate your backstory and some of your insight on a lot of these different issues that we're facing, via, content as content creators or, or in the crypto industry. You know what I mean? It's like, some of the conversations that we talk about, it'd be nice if more and more people got to discussing it and stuff like that, to bring a lot of these concerns and questions and stuff to light, and that way we can continue to educate more and more people and bring different ideas to the space, not only to the space but just people in general, man, because we tend to get tunnel visioned in crypto, and we need to make sure that we keep the wide lens on and just and totally just encompass everything, because like what we seen with Saitama yesterday, that news came out, and I totally missed the Gotbit news. Not got what is it?
Gotbit. Yeah, it's a hard name to remember. Gotbit.
Yeah. I keep wanting to say Bybit because there was there's a but I totally missed that. You know what I mean? It's like, when you told me, I was like, man, are you serious? That news? So you know what I mean? It's like there's so much stuff going on, man, and it's easy for us to get tunnel vision and focus on stuff, and we miss a lot of important information. So definitely, and big kudos to you, man, because like I don't hear, I can't even say hardly, I don't ever hear anything bad about you in the space, man. So good, good props on keeping a good name, man, because there's so many bad actors and so many just raunchy, just scamming ass people in the space, man. And it's like when you come across people that keep it 100 and stay pretty honest, and and just keep moving with a business minded mindset, it goes a long way, man. It really does go a long way, especially when you can't even just type up the name and something negative come up about you. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, man. So big hats off to you, especially when you chilling meme coins and stuff like that. Even just talking about meme coins, man, it's so easy to either fall into the scams themselves, or it's easy to fall into a lot of FUD on your name. You know what I mean? So like I say, just once again, man, just hats off to you, man. It's just great stuff.
And same to you. I have not heard anything negative about you. It's less like what good things you've heard about somebody. It's more like, have you heard anything negative? Haven't heard anything negative about you either. So props as well. It's a rarity in this industry, but good work there.
I appreciate that, man. People like us, man, we work hard to protect our names, man. It's because it's all we got at the end. When we get stuck in the ground, that's all we got left is a name. You know what I mean? It's like what kind of name are you going to leave behind? You know what I mean?
Once the name
Oh,
gets
oh.
moneyed once, you're dealing with crap the rest of your career.
Yeah, old Uncle Russ out there.
Oh, yeah. Big Russ.
Oh, Uncle Russ out there getting done. Hey, appreciate it, Chalk Up Man. Hey, another great content creator. For those that are watching, if you haven't followed Ben Crypto already, make sure you follow this man. Like I just threw out all these good props about him. Show some support. It's
Right,
free.
My viewers as well. Give Vincent a follow. He's very cool. My second time on the show here, so definitely follow this channel.
Appreciate that, man. It's awesome, man. For especially when good people are supporting each other, man. It's always it can be nothing but good things be done.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I appreciate everybody once again. Thank you for watching. For everyone that is listening, if you missed any of the information that was given out, please rewind the tape, or this will be posted on all of your audio platforms, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, all SoundCloud, all that stuff. It's posted everywhere. You can find it. It's called Behind the Bullshit Podcast, man. It's unfiltered, unscripted, and we just it's a platform for people to just have some just genuine, honest conversations about things. You know what I mean? And this is never topic specific. We always have very interesting conversations, and there's no telling what direction the conversation is going to go. You know what I mean?
It's a good part. Every conversation is different. It can go in any direction. This was totally different than last time. Was FTX and BTC's at 16,000 and the industry sucks. This time, much more upbeat, so it's good.
Yes, absolutely, man. Well, with that being said, appreciate y'all once again. Like I say, if you haven't already, make sure you go follow this man. He's a great guy. And as always, I also appreciate it. Hey, it's free and takes like 0.001 seconds for you. Just hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. It helps us out, and it's always nice to see that new follower notification. And as always, hey, big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to the community. Big shout out to my guests, and we are out of here.
Watch out if you ignite me, the road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day.